Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's June 2nd. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And real quickly before we get started, just an update on me. Something I'm going to be doing for the next probably at least week, couple of weeks, is that I'm going to be cutting my hours back here in the office. I'm going to come in every morning. I'm going to probably trade for an hour or so, and I'm going to do the mid-morning chart, and then I'm going to leave and go home and just get out of here, and then probably come back around 2:30 or 3 and do the chart lesson and then leave again. So I'll try to read a few emails each morning, but really what I would like to ask everybody to do is if you want to if you got a trading question, just put it in the um, we need to get back to trying to use the forum, and I'll try to get in there and answer questions better than I have in the past. And I've got other people in there, and a lot of people are asking me, why, let's try to get the forum going. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of died off, and part of it's probably my fault because I wasn't spending enough time there. But I'll try to get in there in that forum every morning for 30 minutes or so um, before I leave out of here. But I just need to, I've got to cut back a little bit because of my health issues, and it won't be forever, just till I get my issues completely straightened out and I'm 100% again. So, just at the encouragement of my family and my doctor, and I'm generally a healthy person, have not had a lot of health problems. I've never had any heart problems, but I think I told you in my last video that I went into AFib during the surgery, and they think it was something that happened during surgery, and I'd kind of come back out, but it's hit or miss. Some days I'm coming back into AFib for an hour or two here and there, and then so my heart is not beating properly yet. So I've got to go see a specialist and see if they can figure this out, what caused it. Um, from what I understand, it's sometimes they have to shock your heart to get it back in rhythm, and then you're good to go. Sometimes they put you on medication, so I don't know what to expect. I don't know what my heart doctor is going to tell me, but um, the doctor that I've been seeing for my current issue for my surgery, he recommended I just kind of cut back a little bit. He's not telling me to quit coming to work. He actually encouraged me to continue to come in some, just to cut my hours back, make sure I don't have any stress, that kind of thing. And I'm a high strung. Well, I wouldn't say I'm high strung, but I'm a workaholic. I am. I love what I do. I love trading. I love teaching it. I love everything about it. And it's hard for me to get away from it. It's hard for me to say no to it because it doesn't feel like work to me. Generally, unless I get bogged down and I got hundreds of people sending me emails asking questions and things like that, then it starts to become a little bit of a burden, or a little bit of a, not even a burden is not really the right word. It just becomes a little more hectic for me, and it starts to put a little stress on me. And I've got to get rid of the stress in my life and kind of get my life cleaned up a little bit, just until at least until I get my health issues straightened out. I'm not 25 anymore. I'm not over the hill by any means. I mean, if you see me, you probably would not think I'm as old as I am. I've always been a health person. I try to eat. I eat what I want, but at the same time, I watch my weight. I try to keep myself in shape, and I've got pretty good genetics. So generally, we don't have a lot of heart problems in my family, and I've never had any heart problems. So hopefully, this is just something, just a minor blip in my from my surgery. That's what because I never had any issue prior to that, and it happened during surgery. So I'm hoping it's no big deal, and they'll get me straightened out. But anyway, I appreciate you holding your emails, and if you got questions, go to the forum. And if you're not a member of forum, you can join our premium section and you get the forum for free. But not everybody needs the premium. People that have been around a while, they've seen all the video lessons, they've read all the articles over and over, and they don't really need that portion anymore. So for those people, if you want to be in the forum, um, it's $10 a month. And the only reason I charge, I would make it free otherwise. But the only reason I charge is to keep the tire kickers and the troublemakers away. If they do want to come in there, I mean, it's $10 a month. If you can't afford $10 a month, you can't afford to trade. And again, it's not because I'm making any money off of that. I don't make any money off of $10 a month, trust me. But it's just, if you just open it up to the public, it becomes a nightmare. And talking about stress, I don't want that on me. But if you want to ask questions, go to the forum and do it. And what I'm thinking about doing is anybody that buys the manual going forward, if you drop me an email and ask about it, I'll give you 30 free days in the forum just so you can go in there for free and ask questions on, as a newbie instead of having to email me. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing. Anybody that buys a manual starting today and forward, just send me an email, ask for the free form, and on top of getting the manual and a lot of our bonuses that we give with you for that for free, I'll also give you 30 days in the forum for free. And if you like it and you want to hang around, you can pay the $10 a month or whatever. And we'll try that for a little while and see how that works, and see if that'll pick up a little speed in there too. And I will try to drop in there every morning and answer any questions to me and so forth. And we'll try to get that going again that way. And I'll ask everybody just to please don't email me with trading questions. Put them in the forum, please. And that'll help me out, and that'll take some stress and some, if I can't get to the forum that day, then it's no big deal. I'll get to it the next day, and I don't have all these emails piling up, and it feels like I need to get to them, and the stress of that, because it's just become unbearable almost. Or I wouldn't say unbearable, but unmanageable for the number of emails that I get every single day. And a lot of you don't, you don't send me emails all the time, but you do send me. If everybody that follows these videos sends me one question a week by email, that's hundreds of emails is the problem. And so, I enjoy answering the emails, I really do, but it's just become unmanageable for me, and it's not, with me now having some health issues. I'm just having to step back a little bit. So I appreciate everybody understanding and trying to do that. And again, if you purchase one of our manuals, the price action manual, I'll just say the price action manual. If you purchase that manual, all you got to do is drop me an email and ask for it, and I'll give you I'll set you up for 30 free days in the forum. And then if you like it, you can hang around. You can pay the $10 a month. You can sign up and pay the $10 a month. And if you don't, you had 30 free days that you could ask questions and get feedback on the manual. And I just think that's the way to go. I mean, that was the reason we originally started the forum, was to kind of give me some help with the emails, and it was going good there for a long time. And I think it's partly my fault. I got to where I didn't have time to get in there, and I wasn't following up on it like I will. But I'll give you my word that I'll try to do my best to stay on top of it this time, because I don't really want to go back to the hundreds of emails a day asking trading questions. So anyway, I appreciate your support in that, and I appreciate all the emails. And a lot of you told me to take some time off, and I don't think I really need to take some time off, but I agree I need to cut back, and I need to reduce my stress load. And so that's how we'll try to do this, and we'll see how that works. And if that's keeping my stress down, and I'm continuing to get better, and we get this heartbeat issue with me going straightened out, and maybe I can start picking up and spend a little more time back in a more of a normal routine. But I think regardless of how we do it going forward, I'm gonna try to get everybody back to the forum instead of sending me emails, because it's just too big and it's too many people, and that's a good thing. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I love doing it. I love answering the questions. I really do, because I like helping people, and I like talking about trading, and I like helping people with trading. It doesn't feel like work to me, other than when it starts to build up and I can't get to it all, and I feel, because I have that tendency to be a workaholic, I feel like I owe it to people. I feel like I'm just not one of those people that like to leave things undone or unfinished, and so I feel like I got to get to all these emails, and I got to get to them as quick as I can. And it was starting to become unmanageable and put some stress on me. So I'm not going to beat around the bush and continue to talk about it, but that's what we're going to do going forward. So try to use the forum instead of asking me questions. if you're purchasing a manual, effective today, June 2nd forward, if you want 30 free days, just send me an email with your name, and I'll set it up and send it back to you. And it may take a day or so to get you going, but once we get you signed up, you're on your own, and you can handle everything from there. And so I appreciate it. But let's get to the chart lesson. You can see we started out with a range today. We broke out, traded higher, and we've backed off that high a little bit, but it looks like we're still making higher highs and higher lows after this kind of triple test across here. We could back down now, but there's still about an hour left, a little over an hour left in today's trading. So anyway, you can see it right here. That we had an update. I meant to start out on the daily chart, but I'd flipped over to this for a minute. Let's go to the daily chart and just let me show you that real quickly, and then we'll come back to this one. Okay, here's our daily chart, and you can see we've got we kind of bottomed out here on a little correction and started moving forward on Friday, and we continued to follow through. And looks like we could still close. We could still continue to back off. My guess is we're going to close similar to what we're looking at here, or at least I feel like we will. Just looking at the chart, but we could back off of that, but I think we'll close higher, or at least close to what we did on Friday at a minimum. And it looks like right at this point, it looks like we're continuing to push higher here. We may get another measured leg. Most of the times when you get a break of a channel, you get two fairly measured legs up to a new high. So that's putting us back to that original target of a measured leg there. So we'll see what happens, but my guess is we'll at least try to make another leg up. And we could be folding over here with another channel working up. So we'll just have to see. But there it is on the daily chart. Fairly bullish day if you look at that chart. But let's flip back to the 2,000 tick chart, and we'll go through the trades, and we'll wrap this day up. Okay, here we are back at the 2,000. You can see till around, we broke out of here. We had a little failed breakout around 10:30. Came back in. We broke out again around 11:30, 11:45. Came back. This time we tested the upper side a couple of times and took off. And we've been trending up until maybe 30 minutes ago or so. We kind of backed off here. We do have a break. I would expect that they'll try to retest this high at a minimum. So that's why I think that we'll try to, we'll probably close closer to the highs. But, sometimes right at closing, this thing will rocket in one direction or the other. So who knows how we could end up closing. But just looking at the chart now, I would think we're going to try to retest this high. But we'll have to see what happens. So let's zoom in here. We'll go through the trades. You can see it again early on. It's just sideways, kind of range-like. We had a trend down during the overnight that found a bottom down here around 58.72 or so, 71.72. We rallied from there. We had a little spike up, and this continued in a channel here. 7 o'clock came right in here as we're making this correction and double second entry right here. But notice you got a new high. You pull back first entry, pull back. When it breaks above that bar, that's a second entry long. You prefer it to be back to this email, but that's a pretty big reversal there. And, you got to close outside on this shorter term channel. So we'll probably at least try to make a new high on that, even if we're not going to continue higher with this other channel. And you can see that's what happened. We ran up, we made a new high. And then we worked our way back to the trend line, and notice where the big move happens once again, right at the key entry point, right at this trend line, and boom, it takes off. That's where all the magic happens. And that's why if you learn to find these key entry points and wait for the setups, you can catch these kind of moves. But I like this one just simply because of the shorter, this is just a short-term trend channel within the larger two-tiered channel within the range. And that's why price action works at every level. But because we got big picture here is pretty much a range. Secondary is a two-tiered channel working up. And within that secondary two-tiered channel, we've got a tighter range. We've got another channel, a down correction channel. And it all it's layered at every layer. So if you've never understood that, make sure you understand that. And that's why price action works at any time level, any chart. It'll just be on a bigger level. And all this could be happening in a daily chart, as I showed you a minute ago, that's in a big uptrend. So keep that in mind. And it's layered, and you have all these patterns and channels and ranges and so forth, all layered together at different time frames. And that's why this stuff works the same on any time lane. But anyway, second entry long right there. I like that one. Again, it looks like all we're trying to do is make a new high here. There's plenty of room back to the high. And you can see we try that, test that twice, and sell off. And what does it do? It comes back right to that range line again, makes a slightly higher high, and turns, but it also hits the trend line at the same time, and off it goes. And once again, there would be another shorter term channel within that one, and there it is, and working up, you get a close outside, move to a new high, and it turns down. Plus, we've kind of found a high here. You might try to go short there. You don't really have range high that's been tested up here yet. I mean, there's resistance from Friday or whatever. So you could argue that we've tested that 2 or 3 times. I usually don't like to take a triple test that goes into the previous day unless it's just like right after the new open or something. But in this case, being that far away from the EMA with that strong of a bearish bar after a break in a new high, at a minimum, you're probably coming back to the trend line again. And that's what happens. It comes back, it bounces, and then it makes a lower high here. And so you got to think, okay, it looks like, I mean, actually, I had this range line down here when we made this low, and this looked like a failed breakout. But as we got more price action, I adjusted it because we had more touches in there. So you can, you don't always leave these lines where they start out. You might have to adjust them slightly. But I like that one. Nice bearish bar on a lower high, and it takes off here, and it just continues to go lower. Then you finally get a break here, but notice the new low, and you get a first entry, and also a break of this little short-term micro channel. Move to a new high, and when it breaks below that bar right there, that's a second entry short, and I think that's close enough to qualify for a short, that signal bar. And this is a pretty good move. If you catch either one of these trades, you might get a runner, very high probability, and you could be done for the day. Well, we just catch him one of those trades, and then it bounces down here at the previous lows, and you could almost argue there's a triple test, but we're not getting rejection there, so I'm not crazy about this entry. I think it's okay to take it, but I think it's green and not a blue one. So maybe you go long one tick above that bar. That's too sideways congested. Then you run up, and then you get 2 legs back to the key entry point. It confirms that trend line. There's your first 2, and this is your third touch. That confirms it, and there's 2 legs back. Perfect signal bar. You want to go long there every time. And unfortunately, you don't get a big runner or anything, but you still get a quick, easy scalp, and then it looks like we're working sideways here. There's another one off the key entry point there, and by the counts, it's probably a second entry, but I wouldn't count that as a leg down. I would just count that as a first entry and sit tight. And so what happens is you got a new high here, and you come back, you're 2 legs back, and then you really got a new high here. And the reason I like this one is like a little breakout pullback, and there's a 1, 2, 3 triple test there. And this is a higher low, a very bullish bar. You got just enough room to get out. And what prices are probably doing is, you have to remember, we're headed to fill this gap. Actually, we'd already filled it from when we opened here to right here, but a lot of times you'll see prices test those areas again and again. And what we're probably really doing here is coming back to retest the overnight high. And you can see we do that multiple times and we fail a bunch of times before we finally succeed and push on. And that's why we don't trade breakouts. We fade breakouts. We do just the opposite. If prices break out of a range, we look to go back in against the breakout because we know it'll probably fail. the breakout will probably fail. So if we break out the high side, we're looking to go short. If we break out the low side, we're looking to go long. If we get a good setup, don't get me wrong, you don't just go long or short because you break out. You got to get a good setup too. So, but anyway, we run on up, and then we get another 2 legs back. That's a second entry, and there's clearly a micro channel there with a break. Move to a new low, and that's a second entry. Because we went below the EMA and we turned down near the highs up here, I marked this one green. But suddenly we get a higher low after that and a nice signal bar, so I like that one. And we run up here and we test the highs up here again and turn down. And again, notice the new low right there. That's a double bottom, so just count that as a new low. And you get a first entry, second entry, and we're way away from the EMA, coming right off of resistance. Another nice signal bar. I like that one. Again, you should wait on the lower high here. Let me zoom in a little bit. So I marked this one green, and you don't get a lower high that's tradable here. So you don't get the lower high here. And then you make another new low here, and then first entry, second entry. I didn't like this one because it looks a little congested. And you notice it does try to come back here. But by the time you get here, now you've had a 1, 2, 3 triple test, and you close back inside. I like the range, so I like going short there. It's a bigger bar. I mean, 21 ticks. It's a little bigger, but for that reason, I marked it green. But I like that setup. And what does it do? It runs to the bottom, and it gets a triple test. 1, 2, 3, and another nice signal bar. Go long there. And it doesn't really take off, but then you get a higher low with another nice signal bar. And the only reason I didn't like this one because it closes, if it would have closed up here above the EMA, I'd say take it and go. But it closes back below the EMA, so it's still looking congested there, but it's a higher low. And if prices break above it, they're probably going back to the high of the range at a minimum, and may go back and test the original bigger range as well, which we do, and they get a breakout, but it fails. And so notice you're working up, you get a close outside here, move to a new high. That's your signal bar, so you can't go short, but it makes a lower high right here. I like that one. It does look a little sideways. That concerned me a little bit, but as long as you got room to scalp out before getting back to that EMA, and really when you're in a range, you don't worry about the EMA too much. My guess is we've been testing both sides of this close from Friday, so that's probably going to be your test. That's probably going to be your target here. Notice it comes to that, and it's working it over and over and over before it can't get through there, and so eventually it goes higher. A market that won't go lower is eventually going higher, and a market that can't go higher is eventually going lower. That's just how the support and resistance works. But notice here too, we had a new high here in its first entry, second entry, although we're really not trying to trade second entries in this, and we do have a break of this channel and a new low. But there's 2 legs back, so a break above that's a second entry. I think you can argue that we've tested this. This is also a higher low, and I think you could argue there's a triple test across there as well. So as long as there's room to get out before the highs, take that trade. And of course, this thing just breaks out and takes off. Then you get a close outside new high, and it's turning down. This is all just too choppy. I don't see anything anywhere in there until finally. But notice you're working down, close outside new low. Then you're working up. I didn't draw this one. Let me go ahead and get it on there for you. You're working up, close outside, and a second entry short. And there, you could probably argue there's a triple test. For whatever reason, I didn't like this in real time, but I just think I was not paying close enough attention to the chart, and I didn't really see the big picture here. I was kind of zoned in on this breakout, but reading it, looking at it after the fact, and studying the chart a little bit, I think there's a decent short right there, and probably should have taken it. I think you can easily go short there. But then we come over here and we get a breakout here that fails, and it just retests the breakout area of the main range. We tested it once, tested it twice, and it's also a slightly higher low on a 2 legs back. So I like that one too. Just to ride it. Your hope is that you're going to go back to your expectations, and hope, I guess I should say, because your expectations, you're going to come back to at least the high here, but we broke out twice and failed, so there's a good chance we're going to break out the upper side, and we'll have to wait and see if we fail. But we don't fail here, we just continue on. Then you get a close outside first entry, it pulls back, turns back up, so it's technically a second entry when it goes past this bar, but I'd wait for this to close, and if you still got room, treat that like the second entry on a break above that, and that would be a quick, easy scalp. That's all you'd get out of it. Comes back, and you get a first entry, and then a second entry, but that's an inside bar. But note you get a higher low here with a nice signal bar just a few minutes later. I like going long one tick above that, because you can clearly see we tested that trend line 1, 2, and the EMA 3 times there. So I like that going long there. There's enough room to still kind of get out right there before you get back to that high. So this thing runs up, it comes back. You get another second entry here, but it's an inside bar. And I don't think you want to go long on that inside bar right there. This one, since it makes a new low, you could treat like a higher low. So maybe you go long there. Again, I didn't really like it in real time because it looks congested. But if you took it, I'd say you're probably okay, because you're going to have at least a triple test there too, and it is a higher low after a second entry. So maybe you go long there. A break would be, again, you wouldn't enter this on the engulfing bar. It would be when it closed a break one tick above that. And it's not a perfect signal bar, but I still think it closes in this upper 1/3. So I think it qualifies. And then we run up and we just turn down off the high. I mean, we got a spiking channel with a pretty strong channel here, so I don't think you want to be taking any shorts. Even though you got a second entry short right there, just skip that, and that takes us into 230. So there it is. Again, a lot of mixed trading, but really from about 9 o'clock on, it was mostly uphill with some mixed trading. I mean, we get these spurts up, and then we go sideways for an hour or two, and then we get a spurt up, and then we go sideways, a spurt up, sideways, and then we get this spike and channel up, and then again we finally get a break and sideways, and then we run to a new high there. And we still got 40 minutes, 50 minutes left in this trading day. So, but it looks like we're still going higher. I mean, we've actually made new highs since I showed you the chart earlier, the daily chart. Prices were trading right in here, and we'd drifted off the high. Well, now we've made another new high just in the time we've done this chart lesson. So there it is. Hope you saw some of these trades. Hope you had a successful day. Again, thank you for the notes and the well wishes and the prayers and all that with my health, and I'm working on this to get better, and so I'll ask you, thank you in advance for instead of sending me emails, go back to the forum and let's participate in the forum and do it that way, just to help me out while I kind of get back on my feet again, figure out what's going on with my heartbeat and why I've got an irregular heartbeat, and anyway, we'll go from there. So I appreciate you. Just trying to think. I believe that's it. So I'm going to wrap it up. I want to get out of here and go home and rest and just kind of start taking it. Like I said, I'm going to come in for a couple hours in the morning, leave during the middle of the day, come back and do the chart lesson in the afternoon, and that's probably all I'm going to do in the afternoon. Just come back and do the chart lesson, post it, and go home again. And so I'm going to cut my hours way back for a little while. This probably won't be permanent. If I get back on my feet, unless the doctor tells me I've got some kind of permanent issue, which I really don't expect that. I'm not feeling horrible at all. I just don't quite have the energy I usually have. I can tell that something's not quite right, but I'm not feeling horrible. So, but I don't want to risk my health either. So I'm going to take it easy and kind of get back on track. And I don't want to get back on that long tail again. Hopefully everybody listened to the beginning of the video and you understand where I'm at and what's going on with me now. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.